Hi, this is Colleen from Barnett Babies 123s, and today I wanted to do a little video about the origin of the names that we've chosen for Hanaya. A lot of people ask us about that. Where does the name come from? And I'll just go ahead and tell you that Dave already knew that he wanted Karis to be part of the name if he ever had a daughter, and the second name, Charis, is kind of a derivative of Charis. Charis is a Greek word. It looks like this. Okay, and I'll start with that one. That's her middle name, and I just want to show you in the Greek lexicon. That's what I'm looking in here. If you look up the word Charis, it's not a Greek name, it's a Greek word, okay? Unlike Hanaya, which we'll talk about in a minute, but Charis. Okay, here's some of the things that it means. I'm hoping that you can read this, but I'm just going to pick out a few of them. Pleasing, charm, beauty, gracefulness, a pleasing circumstance, a matter of approval, a charitable act, a generous gift, an act of favor. Here's where we're getting into what was in my mind when I was thinking about these names together. Free favor, free gift, grace, free favor, specially manifested by God toward man in the gospel scheme. A gracious scheme, a gracious provision, a gracious dealing from God's hand. Some of you may know that Dave and I, we've been married 7.5 years, and we've been trying to have kids the whole time. And for whatever reason, the Lord has not blessed us with our own children together. So after all those years and getting older, just a few months before Hanaya came along, I had sort of just resolved myself to the fact that we weren't going to have any. It just wasn't looking that way. And I was trying to get myself to a place where I could just be comfortable with that and just be content with what the Lord had given us, content with just being with my husband, even though both of our desires have always been to have children, and as many as we could have. So after all these years, and as old as we are, to be given a child at this point in our lives is definitely a gracious dealing from the hand of God. So even though Dave had thought about the name Charis years ago, it has a very special meaning right now just because of the place we are in our lives. So her middle name, Charis, which we are spelling like so, is just an English derivative of Charis. Charis is actually a Greek word. Charis is a name taken from that Greek word. Okay, so now let's get to her first name, Hanaya. Hanaya is not actually a Hebrew word. It's Hebrew in origin, whereas Charis is Greek in origin. Okay, the name Hanaya is actually from a Hebrew name, Hannah, which we in English pronounce Hannah. Okay. This is what it looks like in the Hebrew, and I'll actually show it to you in the Hebrew. This is actually a Hebrew English Bible, so it has the Hebrew alongside the English, which is handy if you're studying your Hebrew. But if you're familiar with the story in 1 Samuel where Hannah was praying for a child, okay, here's where that starts. In your Hebrew Bible, everything goes backwards, so it looks like I'm in the New Testament, but I'm actually in the Old because it goes back to front rather than front to back. But here is the word Hannah, or the name Hannah, right here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And the most common English version of that you hear is Hannah. Hannah is a very, very common name, and it means grace, favor. Okay, and when I was looking for names to go with Charis, I was looking for a Hebrew name that also had the same meaning, because in my mind I was thinking it's grace upon grace that we've been given a child at this time in our lives. I know we're not as old as Abram and Sarai were, or Abraham and Sarah were, but it sure feels like a long time. It feels like we've waited a long time. So this, if you look up this name in Hebrew, it's Englishized, I made up that word, this way, Hannah, And then you see this very commonly in English, but Hania is just another variant of that name. Sometimes you'll see it H-A-N-I-A. I've seen C-H-A-N-Y-A. There's quite a few different derivatives, and I just thought this one was the prettiest, so that's what we've chosen. So Hania, H-A-N-I-H, is what it's going to be. And it's the grace or the favor of the Lord. So if you could just think about those two names, first Hebrew, then Greek. Grace of the Lord upon grace of the Lord. So that is where Hania's name comes from. And I hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you again soon. We are down to 8 days. 8 days. Have a great day. Bye.